meeting. Pastor Jackson, would you mind leading us in an invocation?
Asking how to offer you the calls of other. Part we need are, but only at the Jew. That's what
City Clerk,
Thank you,
roll
Mayor.
call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Alejandra Avila. Here. Council Monica Garcia, I believe, will not be attending today's meeting. Councilmember Paul Hernandez.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian.
Here.
Mayor Manuel Estrada.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. City Attorney, is there anything to report out from closed session?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The council did consider multiple items in closed session. They took no final action on any closed session agenda item. Therefore, there's no reportable action. That concludes my report, Mayor.
Great, thank you. So at this moment, I will move to adjourn the special session. Can I get a second? Any objections? Not, the special meeting from 5 o'clock is now adjourned. And we move on to our proclamations, commendations, and presentations. And we have a recognition for our very own Yuriko Ruiz Esparza, Community Services Supervisor, in regards to her active SGV Noches de Luminarias recognition for Outstanding City Staff Person Award. So Yuriko, if you are able to, please join us up here at the dais.
What's his name?
Yes, and if you'd like, you can bring anybody up here who's with you.
Your husband? Francisco?
Very good. So last week we found out Yuriko was getting recognized by Active SGV, and so we wanted to make sure that we recognized her here at home, the City of Baldwin Park. If you're not aware, Yuriko is part of our staff here, and she has made many things possible here for the City of Baldwin Park. And I know that she has not only championed, but you're also spearheading a lot of our homeless efforts. We're seeing the return on those investments, so we're very grateful and proud to have you as part of our team. So we want to make sure that we recognize you here. So, in recognition, we congratulate you for being recognized by Active SGV at the 2022 Noches de Luminarias for your dedication to mobilize community engagement efforts, bridge the gaps of our parks and open space in LA County. Your collaboration, dedication, and hard work is of great importance to our residents, community leaders, and surrounding cities. Thank you for the favorable recognition that you bring to your department and our city.
Mayor and members of the City Council, it is an honor to be here with you all tonight, and of course the residents of Baldwin Park. I would just like to thank each and every one of you that has gone out to our community engagement meetings, that I've had an opportunity to engage and with you, and in hopes that we push this city forward. It's an honor to be joined by all of you tonight, and of course my husband Francisco. Thank you for always supporting me. And thank you, Manny, the rest of the department. And we couldn't do this alone. We tackle all of our efforts in parks, recreation, homelessness, and all through a very multidisciplinary team. So thank you, Sam, Ron, Chief, everyone up here. Thank you so much. And it's a pleasure to be working here for the city of Baldwin Park, which I hold dear to my heart. Thanks.
Mayor, I just want to say, Eureka, thank you. Eureka, you could see her working long hours, regardless of what may be happening around her. She's actually somebody to look up to. She went through some really hard times, and no matter what was going on in her life, she was here for our city. She took care of her family, but she took care of the Baldwin Park family. She worked from home. She made sure things were handled. She is one of the big reasons, one of the persons that has taken charge with our tiny homes and helping the homeless. She's the forefront. She makes sure that all the grants are in. There's just a number of things that Eureka handles in this city that a lot of us probably were not even aware of. When I learned of all the things that she does here, and then when I learned of everything that she and her husband had gone through, and I didn't even know, because if you would look at Eureka worked, she smiled, she was here hours, long hours, to make sure that our community got everything that it needed. It's employees like you, Eureka, that makes our city so successful, because you bring all of you to our city. So thank you for being one of the best staff. Everybody's great, but seeing that everything that she's gone through, it was an eye-opener for me, and I thank you for everything that you do. And I'm glad that you're doing well. I'm glad you're doing well as well. I was so happy to see you walk up here. So thank you for all your work, and we're very happy to have you here. Thank you.
Absolutely. Eureka, I was extremely excited and happy and proud to hear that you're going to be recognized by SGV. You're a proud product of Baldwin Park. Soon we'll be calling you Doctor, which I'm hoping that becomes sooner than later. And your thesis is on Baldwin Park, because we have a lot of great examples. But I'm just thrilled because, again, not only for your individual recognition, but in 2019, as you might recall, our city was also recognized by SGV, Active SGV. So we have a long history of providing great products and individuals being recognized across the valley. So this is just an example, and not the first, and it won't be the last. But again, gracias for everything that you do for us around the homelessness, rec and parks, and everything else. So we share this celebration with you, with all the accolades and the kudos and the star fingers and everything else. So congrats.
Mayor, if I may.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I just want to say, Eureka, thank you. Your work doesn't go unnoticed. There's a lot of challenges that you've been able to overcome, and I know there's still a lot of more challenges that we have to face. But I believe that working together, we can overcome those challenges. So congratulations, well deserved. And again, thank you very much for all of your hard work and dedication.
Checkpoint. Eureka, congratulations. I had the pleasure of attending Active SGV award ceremony, and I was a very proud director, proud friend, proud colleague of Eureka's accomplishments, not only in the homelessness efforts, but also in the recreation and community services. We have an award-winning department because we have employees like Eureka. So thank you very much and congratulations. This recognition is long overdue and well deserved. So once again, congratulations.
Well, I definitely want to thank Eureka for being with us, not only today, but every day that she's scheduled to work, of course, and the extra hours. We're very grateful, and we move forward because of the staff, and it's always my pleasure. I'm always very excited to make sure that we put our staff in the spotlight, letting people know that they're the ones getting down to the nitty gritty, setting up the infrastructure and getting things done. So Eureka, super grateful to have you here in Baldwin Park. I want to see you here for a very, very longer time. I want to make sure you stay here. We want to make sure you keep helping us move forward. And I just want to make sure that we get Eureka a plaque so she's able to hold on to this moment forever. All right. And before we move forward, I see our newest lieutenant, De Leon, in the back. So congratulations on your promotion.
Congratulations.
I know De Leon is a Baldwin Park product as well, correct? Very nice. So very glad to see Baldwin Park residents, stay in Baldwin Park and help the next generation of residents. So we're very thankful. Congratulations. City Clerk, I will go ahead and open up public communications. Is there anybody looking to speak?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. We received 2 public comment speaker cards. First one is Samira Mejia.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor Emanuel Estrada, council members, and members of the Baldwin Park community. 25 years ago, in a small neighborhood in Southern California, a member of the community and local church wanted to do some good. He had read about a shooting close by and how the mothers in that neighborhood wanted to take the neighborhood back from the gangs. Our community member contacted the moms and said, "How can I help?" The answer: our kids need a safe space to be. So our community member did some fundraising, wrangled a few volunteers, and rented a small apartment for an after-school program. On the first day, 100 students showed up. 25 years later, that well-meaning member of the community, Randy Barth, is the founder and CEO of Think Together, one of the largest nonprofit organizations dedicated to after-school programs, early learning, and school improvement. Our mission is to partner with schools to change the odds for kids. My name is Samira Mejia, and I'm the general manager proudly supporting the students and families of Baldwin Park. We have seen over the past 25 years the power of after school to change kids' lives, not only to provide them a safe space to go, but to support them in their journey towards college and a fulfilling career. This October, we will once again shine a light on after-school programs with our Lights On After School celebration. On Tuesday, October 18th, we will be inviting businesses, community, district, and school leaders to join us at our open house style event to see firsthand the power of after-school programs. This year, we're especially excited to highlight our incredible staff who work with students every day, helping with homework, guiding them through enrichment, and being there as a mentor. Most of these staff are from Baldwin Park, and are proud to give back to our community, especially in today's work environment where many people opt to work from home via a computer screen. These individuals show up each day and are present for our youngest Baldwin Park citizens. These after-school professionals deserve our support, both in spirit and as we appeal to California lawmakers to ensure funding for the work they do and the families they serve. We hope to see you at our Lights On after-school event at 4:30 on October 18th at Walnut Elementary. Thank you for your time and service to our community. I have a couple flyers here, so that way we can save the date. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next is Catherine Lozier. She will be providing library updates.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, council members, and members of the community. The library continues to celebrate National Hispanic Heritage Month, and our next program is going to be a virtual program, which will also be part of our Heart in Hand virtual book talks. This one is celebrating authentic cultural representation. Author Annette Chavez Macias, who is the author of Big Chicas Don't Cry and Too Soon for Adios, will be in conversation with our library director, Sky Patrick, and they'll be discussing authentic cultural representation. Then all libraries will be closed on Monday, October 10th for Indigenous Peoples Day. But in preparation for that, we will have on Saturday, October 8th from 11 a.m. to 12, an author talk on American Indian relocation, NDNZ in the city. Author Pamela J. Peters will share a multimedia presentation that discusses the Indian Relocation Act of 1956, discussing how large groups of people of Native American descent were brought into urban areas of Los Angeles. And we'll talk about American Indian policies, tribal resilience, and again, we'll present cultural stories. That's a virtual program. And then our Work Ready series will be resuming. It's a 6-week program for those who are interested in looking for new jobs, those who are looking to build job skills, or those who are seeking out career opportunities. There's 2 ways to participate. You can join any of the series, any of the individual sessions of the series, or for those who in need of a laptop, you can also sign up at one of 20 participating libraries. Charter Oak Library and La Puente Library are the 2 closest ones for that. And you would get a laptop in which you can participate for 6 weeks. The first program in the series is going to take place on Tuesday, October 18th, 11 to 12:15, and it will be Acing the Job Interview. We have a professional speaker, Christy Dimitrikis, who will teach you how to nail a job interview. So if anybody who would like to participate, please feel free to sign up online. If you need any help doing so, feel free to come in, call us at the Baldwin Park Library. We're always happy to hear and see you. Thank you all so much. Have a great evening.
Those were all the written card requests.
All right, thank you.
Hello, City Council. Oops, 2 people missing. Wow, what a shame. Hello, City Baldwin Park residents. I got a lot of complaints, but you guys are only going to hear a few. Number 1, what makes you people that aren't here the constitutional right not to be here? The flu's about over. The other person doesn't think she should be important to be here, so they should just resign. You know, the lawyer hasn't paid them enough to run re-election yet, I guess. You know, you people don't like being called crooks. Well, I'll tell you, once he pays you to vote, you're done. You can kiss the world goodbye. Your political career is going to go wacko. Also, I've been asking, I even asked the lawyer a number of years ago, could we have a financial report? I don't think he knows what that is. or he was dictated by the ex-mayor not to give it to anybody. This person's being paid to print it. You people put it in the minutes. It's useless. Maybe the new mayor can give me one, or give the public a few. Also, you people have a lot of homeless people in Baldwin Park throughout the world. You're doing a lot of trying to do a lot of good with our money. You built 2 so far. You're going to build another one. Where are you getting all this money? Are you getting it from Uncle Sam, or are you taking it from us? The biggest problem we have, gas prices are going to go sky high, and you 5 people, including that lawyer and the CEO that pushed it through, misrepresented it, your so-claimed Baldwin Park, whatever you call it. You people are going to bankrupt these cities. Think about it. Taxes are going up because you want to raise it. You want to have a great income when you retire. You're pushing it for that. That's wrong. You're supposed to be working for all of us. You're working for you 5 people. I know, give me all the looks you want, but it's true. You should be voting to protect all of us, not voting to benefit your pocket. And that's what you people are doing. You want to raise our taxes. Why? We've been in a money crunch for the last couple years, and you guys just don't get it.
Sorry, your time is up, sir.
Honestly, you don't get it.
Thank you. Your time
I
is
know,
up, sir.
I'm out of time. Thank you very much. Poor 5 people. Whew.
John Rios, resident, 45 years, right here in Baldwin Park. One of the things you guys are doing wrong, and you guys have to open your eyes, is homeless things you guys doing, encampments and everything. It just came out from Long Beach right now. They're totally upset with all the homeless over there. We're going to get as bad as them.
Mr. Rios, resident of Baldwin Park for 45 years, here in Baldwin Park. One of the things that you guys are doing wrong, and I hope you can open your eyes, is...
Can you translate in Spanish?
Señor Ríos, residente por 45 años en la ciudad de Baldwin Park, una de las cosas que quiero mencionar que ustedes están haciendo mal y que tienen que abrir los ojos es que el problema con los indigentes, estos campamentos que tienen para ellos, este problema está presente en Long Beach y están ellos muy molestos y parece que va a suceder lo mismo acá.
Another thing is that I had some signs taken down over a week ago, and you guys haven't returned our signs back. And one of the things, you guys have 24 hours to return it to us. And you guys are breaking the law. You guys want another lawsuit again. One of the things that we do, like myself, Mr. Plata, Mr. Luna, Mr. Taro, we try to protect the city.
Otra cosa es que ustedes no están devolviendo los carteles. Esto ocurrió hace una semana y hasta ahora no los han devuelto. Ustedes están a punto de quebrantar la ley y esto va a requerir que haya un juicio. Y una de las cosas que hacemos nosotros, yo, el señor Plata, el señor Luna, el señor Wiki, es de cuidar la ciudad.
Another thing is that you guys open the parks open for our signs Walnut Creek has a sign right there. You have it right here in front of City Hall. That belongs to the citizens. That belongs to you guys. Belongs to the taxpayer of Baldwin Park.
Otra cosa es que hay que abrir los parques y estos carteles pertenecen a la ciudad. Pertenecen a la ciudad, no a ustedes. Pertenecen a Baldwin Park.
Hace como 3 meses que les dije, around 30 months ago, I told you I cannot work with crooked politicians. One of the things that I found out is that some of you city council came to Ron to tell him, don't do anything on the property in Los Angeles. That gentleman had to leave because of you guys don't know how to treat the good people from Baldwin Park, the workers from Baldwin Park.
Hace 3 meses yo les dije que ustedes no podían, que yo no podía trabajar con políticos tramposos y hace una semana a un concejal que había una visita de Los Ángeles se le dijo esto.
I told you guys at that point that you guys wanted a puppet at that position, which you guys did, starting with the CO, Ron, and everything. You guys don't have the cajones.
Ustedes querían un muñeco al que podían controlar y eso es lo que se está obteniendo. Empezando con el CO, Ron, ustedes no tienen los cojones.
Pardon me? You're denying my first rights, my First Amendment rights? I can even call you a...
Can we just, Speaker?
It doesn't matter. No, the First Amendment rights, okay. I have all the rights.
Mr. Rios, please continue with your 37 seconds, please. Go ahead and finish your speech.
So that's one of the things that the citizens want to see. Be equal to everybody, not to just your friends.
Es una de las cosas que los ciudadanos queremos ver, que ustedes sean imparciales e iguales con todos, no solamente con sus amigos.
Another thing is the people from Fraser and Grace, they're upset. I talked to them over the weekend. What is taking so long for you guys to put the speed bumps and the stop signs?
Otra cosa que está molestando a la gente es con la gente de Fraser y Friends que está tomando tanto tiempo poner los rompemuelles, en las calles, speed bumps.
You guys work for us, for the citizens, okay?
Ustedes trabajan para nosotros los ciudadanos, ¿ok? Gracias.
He's going to translate in Spanish for me.
Él va a traducir para mí al español.
Sorry, just for the record, and it's up to the chair and the vice chair and the council to continue, but we do have translation in Spanish simultaneously on our channel, and we do have a translator at hand at the council meeting if anyone wishes to have audio. He has a device if you can't understand the English, or if you just want to hear it in Spanish. He offers devices at the beginning of the meeting.
I'm ready? Okay. First of all, I noticed on your agenda for the special meeting you had Daniel Rodriguez on there.
Primero que nada, me di cuenta que en su orden del día tenían a Daniel Rodríguez en lista.
Daniel Rodriguez was supposed to be an employee for this city, and you can ask your corrupt city attorney and Chief Taylor. You can ask Paul Hernandez, who's involved with Daniel Rodriguez on corruption. We have special people listening to this meeting tonight.
Daniel Rodríguez era supuesto empleado de esta ciudad. Y usted puede preguntar esto al abogado corrupto, puede preguntar también al jefe de la policía.
There was a COVID corruption with monies. Paul Hernandez had a neighbor down the street overpricing all the COVID supplies that the city was getting. Daniel Rodriguez had refused the second time to authorize them, but Manny Carrillo went ahead.
Hubo una corrupción con el COVID con cuestión de dinero. Paul Hernández había hecho un sobreprecio con una persona adicional acerca de los implementos para combatir el COVID. Daniel Rodríguez lo había visto esto.
The people involved in this was Ala, Lozano, Tafoya, Monica Garcia, Lozano, Manny Carrillo, and especially Paul Hernandez, since it was his friend down the street.
La gente involucrada con esto era Ala, Lozano, Tafoya, Mónica García y especialmente Paul Hernández, que era cuya idea era este asunto.
So the FBI is looking into this because the money that was done, the overpricing of the COVID supplies, were all done through Mr. Hernandez, Paul, and Manny Carrillo, and the previous council. So
Entonces,
we're going to be looking.
El FBI está analizando esto porque hay que ver y hay que analizar estos sobreprecios de todos estos implementos en los que estuvieron participando Hernández, Carrillo.
I want to remind Mr. Hernandez, you're not the mayor and you're not the orchestrator of the meeting. The mayor is. If he has something to say about what the speaker says, he says it, not you.
Debo hacerle recuerdo al señor Hernández que usted no está a cargo de esta junta, el señor alcalde es el que está a cargo. Si es que hay que decir algo, él es el que debe hacerlo, no usted.
Now we know with Measure BP, you guys are fighting us tooth and nail. We put up signs, you want to take them away. We do have the attorney coming back from vacation. We will be filing a lawsuit so that your city attorney will make more money for his stupidity.
Ahora, con el programa de Baldwin Park que tenemos, sabemos que hemos puesto carteles y que ustedes los retiran y que debido a esto el abogado nuestro está de vacaciones, pero va a volver y vamos a emplazar un juicio y el abogado va a tener que otra vez gastar dinero en algo tan tonto.
The Measure BP was only supported by two council people, Hernandez and Monica Garcia, and the mayor did not put their names on the ballot to say that they supported it. There's a reason for that.
La medida de BP fue apoyada solamente por dos personas en el consejo, Hernández y García. El alcalde no puso su firma en esto y hay un motivo para esto.
We have a sales tax increase is what they're trying to do. Put more pressure on the people for pay. Now, as of January 1st next year, the rent control goes out with LA County. You try and explain that to the people that they're going to be losing their houses and paying more rent, and then you want them to pay more city sales tax.
Ahora tenemos un incremento en impuestos a la venta y esto va a incrementar la presión también. A partir del 1 de enero del 2023, el control del alquiler va a estar eliminado y van a tener ustedes que explicar esto a la gente.
The attendance of the council members since the President of the United States has declared the pandemic is over. Come back to the council meetings, stay home and resign. One or the other.
La asistencia a las juntas del Consejo, de acuerdo a lo que ha dicho el presidente de Estados Unidos, es que la época de mantener y de trabajar desde la casa se ha terminado. Por lo tanto, vengan a las juntas o renuncien.
I noticed on your agenda that you're going to give Christmas off for a week in between. I want to hope that this is using off of the employees' vacation time and not that the city's giving extra money out during that time, because we are on a slim budget and we don't need to be spending extra money.
Noté también que durante la época de las fiestas de fin de año se va a ver una semana en la cual se va a cerrar el municipio. Espero que los empleados estén utilizando su tiempo de vacaciones para esto, porque estamos en un presupuesto muy justo y no podemos darle el lujo de pagar por no trabajar.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Great. Anybody else? If not, I can touch on some of those points. Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Juan Vargas. I came 2 or 3 months ago, and I was requesting the sweeper. I have a problem with the sweeper, and you guys know it. I already explained it to you the last time, that this city, in my street, they sweep the street both sides at the same time, and we cannot park no cars between 7 to 12. It happens that the sweeper goes by around 7:10, and we're at the mercy of not be able to park outside for another 5 hours. When we have cars and we don't have big driveways, we have to put the cars everywhere, or at least and the neighbors, everywhere we could. But it's not enough. Sometimes we have to put the cars inside, way inside, but it happens that the person has to leave earlier. So we have to move the cars. Well, it happens this morning. The police department, which is, I do not blame the police department because they're doing their job. They was giving tickets to the residents because we parked the cars outside 10:30, and the sweeper went by 7:10 in the morning. I thought that the day that I came over, you guys was going to do something. So today I'm requesting you guys to have a temporary ordinance, to vote for an ordinance to be able to park the cars outside. At least after the sweeper goes by, we can put the cars outside, and we're not going to be at the mercy of having a ticket, because in these days, we have a tie with our money. Gasoline, jobs. It's not easy to come and see the 1 or 2 tickets in the cars. You guys have to do something. This is the second time that I come over. And you guys have the power to do it. Why don't you guys do it today? A temporary ordinance until you guys have and find a way to have a permanent ordinance. Maybe one day you guys can have the street sweep on one side, and in the afternoon, sweep in the afternoon. In that case, we can put the cars on one side. But you guys have to do something. You guys are bleeding us the money that we don't have. Thank you.
Mayor, elected officials, Jesse Plata, resident of Baldwin Park. Now, and I've heard some residents and a business owner come over here and use the time that they had. It seems like they have more sense than you sitting up there. The last one that he talked about, parking, it's obvious. And I came here to talk about two different, more than one thing. Baldwin Park, Measure BP tax. The gentleman spoke about it. Hey, we're going to go somewhere else and buy. Not only people from here. It's going to hurt. And I'd like to go into Measure CB. Call it what it is. The sale of marijuana. The sale of marijuana. Let's be transparent about it. That is going to create more problems in Baldwin Park. There's going to be more accidents, and some accidents that can be very serious. There's going to be more people overdosing on drugs. It's going to introduce them to a higher drugs. There's going to be more problems at home. There's going to be more violent out there. Now let's get one thing straight. Just because you go to a certain facility and use it there, crime travels. Crime travels. A lot of people go to a bar, sure, they were okay there. But 10 minutes down the road, they have a serious accident. Nothing is going to guarantee that the crime is going to stay at that location or their dysfunction to control their vehicle. Those are things that you have no control over. And that is sending completely the wrong message to our younger generation. Unfortunately, we do have some older generations that don't know any better. Now, what I said, what the other gentleman said, that's very clear. Transparency. Don't hide it under different names or quote it differently. And going into the homeless, tell them to get a job. It's very clear even in the Bible. Help yourself. I don't know if any of you saw the movie Stand Up and Deliver. What was the message? Get yourself off welfare and contribute. Thank you.
Buenas noches, City Council, todos están presentes. Bueno, volvemos a lo mismo. Gracias por limpiar atrás de Walmart y el otro lado está muy limpio. Me gusta eso, pero todavía tenemos unos pequeños detalles ahí que no borraron el otro lado. Y también me gusta cómo están haciendo el trabajo y hay que cooperar todos, ¿verdad? Pero en la noche estamos viendo que no hay policías y la gente vuelve en la noche a parquearse allí o tirar basura y necesitamos que vigilen en la noche para que no regresen porque en la mañana se van temprano todos los homeless y las motorhomes, todos están ahí otra vez en la noche, toda la noche se parquean allí y vuelven a tirar basura. Entonces necesitamos reforzar más eso para que no vuelvan para de regreso.
Good evening, council members and everyone else. Thank you because you've done some cleaning behind Walmart and it looks good. It looks good now. But there are additional details that we have to bring up. There's more cleaning up to do and we all have to participate. We all have to get involved and help. The problem, however, is at night. There's no supervision to prevent this additional trash, these homeless people who come here and trash it, or homeless or motorhomes and dump the trash and leave it at night.
También, Chief, por favor, necesito que refuerce un poquito más los negocios, por favor, porque no vemos policía. Yo paso en la noche, le hablo a un policía que pasa y no me hace caso. Entonces, eso quiero que entiendan todo eso para que se refuercen más los negocios.
Chief of Police, I want you please to also provide additional security with the businesses. Sometimes I'll go by there at night and I see that there's no supervision and I have spoken one of the police officers and he doesn't pay attention. So that needs to be taken care of.
Y gracias, Steven Sam, por mandar limpiar toda la área que dice complain y gracias. También hay complaint de los vecinos cuando andamos en las calles, que ellos quieren que, dicen ellos que las banquetas están muy levantadas por los árboles y que han llamado y no hacen caso. Entonces yo traté de tomar las direcciones, todo eso, y les dije que les prometíamos que iba a hablar con ustedes para que cumplieran las banquetas y entonces iban a ir a revisar eso.
Thank you also, Simon, for all the cleanup you've done, that it's been done. And also there's a problem with in the different areas in the neighborhoods with the trees that are lifting the sidewalks. And some of the neighbors have complained to me, and they haven't or have said something, and nothing has been done, or they have not received an answer in regards to all that.
Aquí en la Merced y la Fraser hay un carro que anda corriendo demasiado fuerte de la Ramona a la Baldwin Park Boulevard, y la gente hizo complaint porque dicen que pueden matar a una persona. Va como 80 millas por hora y dicen que han reportado y que no le hacen nada al muchacho. Es un carro que está blindado como del Army.
Here at the area of Merced and Fraser, there's a vehicle that speeds up and down all the time between Ramona and Baldwin Park Boulevard. It drives at about 80 miles an hour, and a lot of people have complained, and someone's going to get killed. And this vehicle looks like it's got the look of camouflage.
También la luz que pusieron en la Fraser y la Foster están diciendo ellos que no les va a funcionar porque los carros siguen corriendo mucho. Yo hablé con ellos porque anduve para ahí y para acá. Y necesitan ellos que les pongan un bump, un tope.
And the light they have installed also at the intersection of Fraser and Foster apparently is not going to work because vehicles go really fast in that area. They're involved in races. And what they need to do is install a bump.
Okay, that's it. Gracias.
That's all I have to say. Thank you.
All right. At this moment, I will move to close public communication. I know we're talking about the signs. The signs aren't an issue. The issue is that they're being posted on public property. If we allowed everybody to post political signs on public property, we would have a giant mess in the city. As long as they're posted on private property, it's not an issue. Nobody minds. For the homelessness, we hear about homelessness a lot. Very complex. And you don't have to like the answer, but the answer is the answer. And it doesn't come from me, it comes from the Supreme Court. And it will continuously rule, and it will continuously be upheld that everybody has constitutional rights, and that asking a homeless individual to move along when there's nowhere to go is cruel and unusual punishment and a violation of the Eighth Amendment. So in order to be able to ask individuals to move, you must be able to provide them services, resources, and of course a place to go to. This is why we open up the tiny homes. Tiny homes have come at no cost to the city and have actually helped by reducing our calls for services, because homeless people are now no longer homeless and they have somewhere to be. That's why we have Esperanza Villa, and that's why we have Serenity Homes. It also brings resources and services at no cost to the city, which is incredibly important. So now we have case managers helping those people at those locations. As of recently, we partnered with Lakata to do outreach for the hard-to-reach homeless population, and they are working on that and making sure that they are hitting the encampments, doing that outreach, and helping them as well. As of recently, there's been a new case, and that is the case of Johnson versus the city of Grant Pass, and that has added that cities and counties cannot criminally enforce public camping laws that prohibit homeless from camping on public streets if another place is not available to sleep in. So again, another lawsuit that has reinforced that state. So it's really important that we do our homework when we talk about homelessness. A lot, especially now, people like to spread a lot of misinformation about what and what can be done about homelessness. So I encourage all of you to look up these cases. And if you have another solution that you think will help meet this criteria, then I'm all for it. Right? But we cannot just ask people to get a job or keep it moving. It doesn't work that way in government. So I just want to reiterate that. I reiterate that every time I hear this. So just for that, and somebody kind of mentioned the Bible, so I just want to let you guys know that it also says, whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will pay him for his deed. So as we come out of the pandemic, it is incredibly important that we take care of everybody. We just saw the healthcare workers trying to come in here for a higher wage because they cannot afford to live in a home. They cannot afford to stay where they are. So I really encourage all of you to gather some data, read the information, and make decisions based off of what is actually affecting these issues. It is incredibly important that we keep bringing up these resources and services in order to combat that. And again, they've come at no cost since we've been able to secure millions of dollars through funds and allocations from the state and the Regional Housing Trust, and of course our supervisorial county district. So I just want to touch on that.
Mayor? Sam, can you give us an update on the Fraser Foster? I know we've been having conversations about it, and you've been updating the residents in the area?
Yes, absolutely. I've been in communication with the residents as well there. We recently completed the speed hump survey. The survey went out a few weeks ago, and we just closed that out, and it came back as favorable. So the residents do want the speed hump there. The survey is complete, and now we get to move forward for the installation.
Okay, do you have a timeline for that?
So all we have to do is figure out a contractor. So we'll go out and get some quotes.
Okay.
And then we'll install it.
Thank you.
As far as the signal at at Foster and Fraser, so that study is also complete, and so we're going to be reprogramming the signal so that at night it's a 4-way stop.
Okay. And then what about the stop sign on Grace? I know you were doing a study on the stop sign on Grace and Fraser as well.
Yeah, so that study is still ongoing, but it should be completed very soon. And the timeline for reprogramming of the signal is going to be 2 weeks.
Okay, thank you. And I want to touch up on the speeding cars. I agree there is a lot of speeding cars out there. What I did the other day, because Mr. Plata lives right across the street from me, we often hear the car speeding, correct, on our street. So what I did the other night is I heard the car go by, and I heard it go around the block, and I heard it coming back. So what I did is I went outside, away from the corner, of course, because it's not safe, and I took a video of the vehicle, and I sent it to police officers that I knew were out there. It's important that we try to get the make of the vehicles, if at least all possible. They're going too fast to get a license plate because that didn't even come out on my video, but the type of vehicle. There is an issue with people speeding on the streets. We can do everything possible. We could do speed bumps. We could change the lights. We can do a lot of things to hopefully slow them down, but ultimately it's educating the community on the dangers that they're putting themselves in and that they're putting the rest of the residents in. So as community members, the community members that live right on Fraser and between Grace and Foster, we all got together and we had a meeting, and that's how everybody brainstormed. Sam got ideas on what they would like to see there, and that's what's going to make a change there. So as community members, you coming up here, speaking or calling meetings in your areas for concerned areas, that's what it takes to fix areas like that, or to fix speeding problems, or whatever you may see in your area that's a problem. So I thank those residents that came up, and I thank Sam for going out there. The reports that you need to do, I know they're lengthy because you have to follow state law and you have to do certain things. So it's not something, a study that can just be done overnight. So those things are being taken care of. So please do continue to report incidents like the speeding cars or whatever it is you're seeing out in our community, so we can take a handle on it. Thank you.
Great. No other comments? Not. Also, before I forget, Measure CB, the cannabis retail, is not a city implemented measure. It's a measure that was done through community organizing. Organizers went out there, they filed a petition, they collected the signatures, and they have the right to put something on the ballot, and that's what happened. I think somebody brought up me not writing my support on Measure BP. I didn't vote for it, so I'm not going to support it on the ballot. For other council members, that's entirely on them and at their discretion, but just want to bring that up there. And I think that was the end of that. So moving on, we will move on to our consent calendar. And we do have an urgency item, which we will name as item number 13. So I will make a motion. And it is regarding crime statistics, a crime statistical report. So I will make a motion to add as item number 13 the crime stats report.
Second.
On an emergency basis. Second by Councilmember Hernandez. City Clerk, can I get a roll call?
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Estrada,
Yes.
Councilmember Hernandez,
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Damian,
Yes.
motion passes.
Great, thank you for that. So we have our consent calendar, and we have items 1 through 13. Is there any items council is looking to pull? I will pull item number 4.
I'll pull 13, please.
I will pull item 10 and 11, Mayor.
All right, any more items? So you know what? I'm not even going to pull item number 4. I'm just going to make a motion to table it as the request of staff. So we'll make a motion to pass consent calendar items 1 through 13, excluding 4, as we will want that tabled, and excluding 13, 10, and 11 for discussion. Can I get a second? City Clerk, roll call, please.
Mayor Manuel Estrada,
Yes.
Councilmember Avila,
Yes.
Councilmember Hernandez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian,
Yes.
motion passes.
Great. Mayor Pro Tem, you have the floor with item number 10.
Thank you, Mayor. Mine is the approval of the Pun Group LLP to provide independent professional annual audit services beginning with fiscal year 2022, 23, and 24. Rose, just for clarification, based on their contract, do we have any protective language that will prohibit them from increasing their fees once they start working on the audit?
Yes, I stated in the staff report and it's also in their proposal letter that they committed to the service and set fee schedule. And the language was bolded also.
Perfect.
Yes, and I also have the auditing partner can pull here in case any city council has questions.
Great. I just had that I just wanted to make that clarification. Unless any other of my council colleagues have anything else, I will make a motion to approve item 10.
Second.
City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Pro Tem Damian,
Yes.
Councilmember Avila, Mayor Manuel Estrada,
Yes.
Councilmember Hernandez,
Yes.
motion passes.
Great. Thank you for that. So, Mayor Pro Tem, you have the next item. So the floor is yours again.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 11 is regarding the update grant reimbursement and revenue availability policy and procedures. Under the departmental invoicing for reimbursements and responsibilities. So part of the new policies and procedures, departments will submit a quarterly billing invoice within 30 days after quarter ended to the granting agency. So Rose, do all the departments have this new policies and procedure in place? And do all department heads, are all department heads aware that they need to submit the quarterly staff report within 60 days after the quarter ended to update the city council on invoices submitted for reimbursement?
Prior submitting this to the agenda, I have emailed to the department E-team with this policy and procedure. If the city council approve this item tonight, I will email a copy again to the E-team and have them distributed to their staffs who involved in this process.
Got it. Okay, so we just want to make sure that all department heads are aware of this new policies and procedure and that we are following the guidelines and the days on here so that we make sure that we have all of the information available for when the audit is being done.
Thank you.
I have a question based on your question.
Yes.
Okay, and so the department heads have the policy and procedures. I know in the past, department heads knew certain things needed to be put in for reimbursement but wasn't done. So how are we going to make them accountable to make sure that they are following the procedure?
Yes. Based on the auditor's recommendation and what we have experienced in the past, that's why finance created this policy and procedure in formal written format. And this will be distributed to all the department head, and they will need to follow this policy and procedure if City Council approve them tonight.
So let's say a department head does not follow the procedure and they're not submitting the reimbursements. Who's going to keep track of making sure that these reimbursements are being done?
That's the main reason that we put here that department who receive the grants and they provide a quarterly updated report to the City Council. For example, they receive $5 million from the state for a specific capital project. And they spend, let's say they spend $500,000 within the first quarter. And then within 30 days, they need to prepare the reimbursement submittal to the granting agencies. Then within 60 days, and they will, once the template set up, and they will continue to use the same template and format. And let's say they say, oh, they will awarded this $5 million for a certain project. And they will, on the update report, they will say, oh, we spent $500,000. And then they will also show, oh, we have submitted reimbursement requests on such day.
Okay.
With the $500,000. So on the updated quarterly report, it will show and it will have the track. And I mean tracking.
So we will receive that tracking sheet.
Yes.
On the days they should be getting a reimbursement or when it's due, pretty much. So we will be able to be checking on that.
Right. Maybe
Okay.
it will show you all that they have submitted the reimbursement request for this quarter and for second quarter or third quarter.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Rose, you will be aware of all of the payments for grants because they're going to be all sent to the finance department for processing, correct?
Yes, we will
Okay.
be aware of how much it has spent it because we will process the payment to the contractor or to vendors. And however, and between the policy and procedure, for example, when the department receives the award, and normally they will prepare a staff report, inform the City Council. We have been awarded $2 million. Let's say we have been awarded $21 million from APA. Then, for example, the staff report I prepare, and then we say, oh, we plan to spend this much in this area and that area. Then we will create the account number and project number to keep track of the awards. So the first step is they will inform the City Council after they awarded the grant.
Okay. All right. Does anyone else have any other questions on this item? If not, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve item number 11.
Second.
City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Damian?
Yes.
Councilmember Avila?
Yes.
Councilmember Hernandez?
Yes.
Mayor Estrada?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. Thank you for that. Councilmember Hernandez, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. Chief, I'm very excited to receive this report. First and foremost, this is what I'll consider a long time overdue. So I appreciate you and your staff and everyone else that's kind of assisted in supporting you and providing us, what we're looking at. So what I'd like to ask, Chief, if you can just kind of give us a summary of what we're looking at and what you provided, as item number 13 today.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Hernandez and Mayor and City Council. The report that I provided to you is a preliminary report that we have processed, and it contains information that we're looking at as initially for reporting purposes. The one thing that we have to account for now is NIBARS. NIBARS is National Incident-Based Reporting System, and that causes a little more documentation as far as crime reports. So if we have, for instance, if we have a robbery that results also in taking of a vehicle, some type of a sex crime, those are 3 crimes that we're going to be held, or we will be counting as crimes. So it's changed the way we're looking at things. So our statistics will increase. That increase started at March of 2021. And so the numbers are going to be a little different. So when we do comparisons for, let's say, if I go back to the last 3 years, our comparison is going to be different, and we're going to show an increase in crime. So one of the things we're looking at is improving on our reporting process, or improving our report that we provide to the council and to the public. Because eventually I would like to put our statistics on our website, on the department website, so that the residents of Baldwin Park understand the crimes that are occurring and the locations that these are occurring, so we can maybe, what I'd like to do is work together with the community to make sure that we can overcome these crime statistics. The things that I gave you are for this year from January to August 2022. And in addition, I broke it down into if you look at, there's January to April and May to August on the second page. The third page also includes a calls for service. And if you look at the calls for service, we had a total of 22,072 calls for service just this year alone, just to this point at this time. Out of those calls for service, 1,130 were related to transient, homeless, and those kind of calls that are related in that realm. And additionally, we had 430 calls that were related to the schools that we're working on. Of the 22,000, the numbers are again, the system that we're using right now is, I'll call it archaic, that it doesn't allow us to really separate things. So of the 22,000 calls, 327 of those calls were officer notifications. So if we have like West Covina calls in and says, hey, we'd like you guys to go check on a residence, that's a call for service, and that gets counted as well. Additionally, we had 254 calls that were just information only, and that means that there were no, police did not respond, that our dispatchers were able to address the call with dispatch, and we were able to take care of it that way. But it's still counted in our overall call for service. As far as the year-to-date for January to August of 2021 and 2022, I had to do a hand count just before the council. So I'll just go down the list of what I've looked at. In the homicides in 2021, we had 2, and unfortunately this year we've had 4. And the robberies, these are all increases, but I think as I get a chance to really start looking into the analysis of the crime and how we're looking at it and what we're going to do with it, one of the things that we look is trying to understand what caused the increase, and I'll more likely I'll be able to attribute the increase in crime is based on the change in the pandemic. That people are coming out and doing a lot more things, getting involved in a lot more things. So as we look at robberies, to date, we're last year was 46, and we're at 54 right now. So that's an increase of 8 crimes. The assaults include batteries and aggravated assaults are with injuries, serious injuries. And again, as we go into NIBARS, it changes the count, so we will show an increase. At this point, unfortunately, we're at 147 additional crimes. So in 2021, we had 267. This year, we have 414. Again, the spike just because of the way we're reporting it to the FBI. As far as larceny, larceny includes shoplifting, theft from building, theft from vehicle, theft of vehicle parts, and all other incidents of larceny. So we have, in 2021, we had 248. This year, at this point, we're at 484. That's an increase of 236 crimes. Again, as you can see, the way we're reporting crimes now, we're showing a spike because of the way we're reporting it to FBI. Vehicle thefts in 2021 to this point, January to August, it was 154. This year to date, it's at 211, so that's an increase of 57 crimes, or 57 vehicles taken. Sex offenses are a little more complicated just because of the difference in crimes. So, they fondling, rape. I don't have all the list of the different categories, but it does also cause some increases. So we show 2021 24. This year we're showing at 42, so that's an increase of 18. As far as burglaries, we're showing 74 in 2021, and unfortunately in 2022 we're showing 147. That's an increase of 73 crimes. Again, as a result of the COVID, people are leaving home and not at home, so obviously lower numbers, and people are going back to work and those kind of things. So that causes the increase. So that's it in a nutshell, in a brief understanding. But as we go along, I'd like to make a report maybe once every quarter so that the council knows what we're doing and where we're going. And also I'd like to provide an analysis of our crimes and maybe give it just an overview of any significant arrests or significant incidents so that the council is aware of the things that we're working on.
Right.
Thank you.
And I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And I do understand, the NIBARs, the breakdown, and so forth. But that's why I did ask you, to come prepared because, again, homicides are homicides regardless of how they're broken down. Last year we had 2.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
for the entire year?
Yes, sir.
Right. And this year so far, right now, we're at 4.
Yes, sir.
And so that's the same with the other item that I may have missed here, Chief, but the assaults.
Yes, sir.
We had 261 as the year to date, or for the total of the year of last year?
That was from January to August of last year.
Okay.
So we're comparing. I'm comparing the same period of time.
With the exception of the homicides?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Got it. But for the most part, across all these items that you're reporting under what we now know as Group A versus Part 1 crimes, and historically, we're increased across the board is what we're saying.
Unfortunately, and one of the things that, like I said, the report that I provided, it's one of the last columns shows stolen property offenses.
Right.
That is when you are arrested for being in the possession of stolen property. So it's not really a crime per se, obviously, but we're counting it. So that kind of skews the numbers again as well.
Right. Now, and I appreciate that, Chief, because again, this gives us a better sense of one, how can we as a council support you to provide the additional resources that you need? Because the thing that I saw, what was very concerning in this is the forcible rapes and just rapes in total.
Yes, sir.
That is a significant increase that we're looking at right now, just compared to even last year's, as what you mentioned, and especially the forcible ones. As I guess those are the ones that we'd call sexual assaults in the past.
Yes, sir.
So with that, I appreciate that. If you can continue at least, I know you said quarterly, that'd be great. But if you can provide to us, if you can, just on a monthly, I know we're always going to be maybe 2 weeks behind because of our council and the end of the month. If you can provide us just on a consent item, just the report of our crimes. And if you could add the school for call for service, because that's an important piece. We started to take over that responsibility, but we just want to know, how many calls we're actually going for that. And as you've mentioned in our last meeting, you're already tracking the homeless calls for service.
Yes, sir.
Again, that's just to illustrate, what additional resources that we could ask for from the county or whatever the case may be to help mitigate that. We did talk about that in the past. So again, thank you for that. And, the numbers that you just shared with us for the year past, if I can ask if you could email that to all the council members, and if you can put that in writing and just provide it to us, next month when you're redoing the numbers, that we'd appreciate that. And then, of course, I know your goal is to put this online.
Yes, sir.
There's very, sexy websites that are out there that do this. So hopefully, we're able to see that, at the end of the year, Chief, or-
Absolutely.
Okay. Because now, more importantly, you have the data in front of you. It's helping. And I know part of the next step when you do put it online is the actual dots on the map.
Correct.
Where not only you will be able to see it, but also our residents will be able to see where these incidents are occurring and so forth. So one, there's full transparency, and two, they understand the amount of work that your department and your staff are doing for the men and women and also those call takers, because I'm not sure if 22,000 calls between now and then is a big number, or that's normal, or what would that be in your professional?
It's big.
Okay.
We've gone. We did. I talked to the dispatcher when she ran the numbers for me today. She said it was an increase for us.
So if you can provide that when you're providing these other numbers, Chief,
Yes, sir.
if you can provide us what that looks like for, say, last year, if you're able to pull that, because again, then we're able to look at years' time, and we also do understand that during the pandemic we did have an increase in burglaries and so forth, which blows my mind because people are at home, but that's just a reality. So with that, thank you very, very much, Chief. I really appreciate this report and looking forward to how we can help minimize these numbers across the board.
Yes, sir.
Mayor?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief, for the report. I greatly appreciate it. Unfortunately, the numbers don't look good, but it's not just unique to the city of Baldwin Park. The state of California has seen an uptick on crime, all sorts of crime. Not only California, but the whole nation, and it's very unfortunate. And it is important to make sure that we support your police department, your men and women, our dispatch, because there is a lot more calls coming in. Again, let's remember this is not unique to Baldwin Park. It's happening all over. So whatever it is that we can do to assist your department to help them deal with the situation, and I know one of them is to increase our officers out there. So thank you for the stats. It is important that we keep track of the stats and that we keep the community informed. But do remember, it is not unique to Baldwin Park. It's not that Baldwin Park has gone worse. It's that the whole country has had an uptick in the crime scene, and we will do everything possible to help you mitigate that problem so that we can help our police department. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And like I said, the increase obviously is because of the way we are reporting it to the FBI. So that also skews their numbers. But again, it is still a crime, and that's one of the things. One of my concerns that now that we have the ability to start looking at making an analysis and understanding crime trends, I think, and so that I can apply officers to a specific location or a specific area, so they can either solve it or figure out why we have that incident of crime. Yes, ma'am.
So, Chief.
Yes, sir.
What are you using for these crime statistics?
Right now, we're using Spillman Motorola to provide the report that you have. The City Council was gracious enough to allow me to hire a consulting firm to improve what we draw or what we have in front of you. It's for me, it's somewhat embarrassing because of the way we present this. The system that we're working on right now, that we're in the final stages of the drawing of the numbers from Spillman, will look totally different than this. I think one of the things I'm very excited about is it'll tell me the times of day that we're being impacted by crime, or when our highest numbers of crime. I can look at deployment, making sure that that we're deploying officers at the right time. If I need to adjust officers, or I need to adjust the deployment, so if I need to move officers from days and nights and make them work in the middle of during the day, so that I augment the middle of the day. That's one of the things we'll look at. So there's a lot of things that, as we move forward, that's really exciting that I'm getting to finally to get to do that. You'll see a difference in the way we do policing and the way we address crime. And to the council members' comment about traffic, we'll also be looking at traffic trends. We have obviously we have an issue with fatalities. I don't have the exact numbers for the fatalities for this year, but we've had some things that concern me, as whether it's bicyclists or pedestrians. Speed is a huge concern. Obviously, we'll be looking at the cause of traffic accidents that we have, whether there's injuries or fatalities. I want to look at the cause for them so that we can address it whether with either Public Works through Public Works and speed bumps or timing of the traffic lights, or if it's just enforcement. Obviously the enforcement will require additional police officers. Hopefully that I can be able to staff my motors and get at least 3 motors back going to enforce for some of the crime or some of the traffic incidents that we're dealing with.
Great. And then I know we had been talking about like Spillman. Is this the same program that we've had that hasn't been used in years?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so finally being put to work.
Yes, sir.
Great. Thank you for that. And then I know that, as Councilwoman Avila mentioned, we're seeing crime not just in the region, in the county, in the state. So I think, I had read it earlier, and just bringing it up today. Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, in a news conference, they were talking about the significant increase in crime over the span of 2 years, where they saw homicides go up by 94% and grand theft autos increased by 59% in the areas they patrol. When we joined when we were in those meetings with the chiefs and mayors of other cities in the region, we were seeming to be better off than most. So
yes, sir.
To kind of paint a better picture, are you able to bring us, next time you bring a report, a comparison of where we're at and where our neighboring areas are at? Because I think that paints a more detailed picture of what's going on in the area, right?
Yes, sir.
And then, of course, I know we've had had the flock system come into good use, so we should also maybe do a report on that so the community kind of understands how that works and what it's helped done in the past couple of months.
Yes, sir. Actually, we had some good success with the flock system. It was a good investment by the city, especially because a lot of other cities are asking to access our flock system as well, because it's helping the region with crime. I know we had a couple of recent arrests where we had a flock hit or flock activation, and we were able to make some arrests off of the incident. So it'll help. It's a start in the right direction.
Great. Any more questions or comments from council?
Seeing none, I'd like to have council just accept the report as noted. Thank you.
Great. I'll make a second. City Clerk, roll call, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Paul Hernandez?
Yes.
Mayor Manuel Estrada?
Yes.
Councilmember Alejandra Avila?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Daniel Damian?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. Thank you for that. And so it seems that we are at the end of our agenda with nothing else that is needing urgent attention. So does anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns before I move to adjourn the meeting?
Yeah, Mayor, I'd just have a couple comments.
Yes, go ahead, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I know that one of the residents touched on the street sweeping when receiving the parking tickets. I don't know if, this is something that I've heard from various residents. So I don't know, if they have the time from 7 to 12 or 8 to 1, whatever it may be. And if the street sweeper passes by, they normally go out, move their vehicle, park it because the sweeper already passed by. Then the parking enforcement comes by later and gives them a ticket. What is there that we can do to bring to a future meeting, a discussion or whatever it may be, to be able to allow for these residents to be able to move their vehicle back out to the street once the street sweeper has passed by? How difficult would it be for us to allow that?
And we've actually brought this up in the last meeting, if you recall, Mayor Pro Tem Damian, that we needed to fix that situation.
Yeah, so if they can come back with some options for us at the next meeting regarding this. And then my second one is just, I've spoken to some of the businesses and some of the vendors from the downtown market, and they're very pleased with the way the downtown street market came out. So I just want to thank staff, our Parks and Recreation Department, our Police Department, Public Works, and everyone that made this downtown street market a success. It's the first one that we've had since the pandemic hit. And it was a very great success for our small businesses and our vendors out there. I do want to recognize one special staff member in particular for her hard work and dedication on the downtown street market. I don't know where she gets her energy from. I don't know how she makes this happen. But, Maria Moreno, Manny, if you can give her our thanks for helping us make this downtown street market a huge success with the lineup of the artists that she brought in. It just brought the city a lot of attention, a lot of happy residents, and most importantly, a lot of happy small businesses. So want to say thank you, Manny, to your staff, and a special thank you to Maria Moreno for her hard work and dedication that she put into the downtown street market.
I'd like to add something to Mayor Pro Tem regarding the street sweeper, because we're doing this on a daily basis. I know my street is on Wednesdays, and every street has like different days. So what can we do as an urgency to avoid our community members getting tickets in the meantime, that we can come up with an official plan, something temporary to put in place so that they're not getting ticketed after they move their cars and the sweeper's gone. I mentioned this last time. On Wednesdays, I always go home for lunch at 11:30. But on Wednesdays, I don't go home to lunch until after 12 because I can't park on the street. So I understand completely the situation. And so is there anything temporary we can do until we come up with an effective plan that's going to work so that our residents stop getting ticketed after the sweeper has gone by? And it's really obvious when the sweeper has gone by. So parking enforcement can tell. You could totally see the marks the street sweeper leaves.
Yes. Thank you. I'd like to provide some comments on this. So this is a common complaint that we get. We have a 4-hour window when we allow the street sweeper to go in there on his route. City of West Covina has a 7-hour window. So our window is pretty standard. However, this is a recurring complaint that we hear a lot, and so we have been working on it, and we're in the process of implementing it. But the solution is to have better communication with parking enforcement, and it's been that communication line that's been the most difficult. So what we're going to do is we're going to install GPS trackers on the street sweepers and give access to parking enforcement so that they can see in real time where the street sweeper is at all times and when it has in the route that it has traveled. So we already have that system implemented. We use it for tracking some of the vehicles. So we're just going to add this feature to it and then give parking enforcement access to it. So we haven't fully flushed it out, so we're still working on it. But once we do, we'll engage with PD and parking enforcement and set it up.
That sounds like a great plan, because that way our residents see the sweeper go by. They can move their cars, because I know the game you have to play. Okay, which car are we going to park inside first? You have to ask everybody who's leaving first, right? I know the exact same thing you're doing. Who's leaving first? You park in the end. Who's not leaving just as early? You park inside. So it is a situation for a lot of our residents here in the city of Baldwin Park. So implementing something like that is important so that they're not having to pay a ticket because they are costly. And we're all working together. Our streets are getting cleaned. Our residents are able to park back on the street when necessary. We all want our streets clean, of course. We're going to move our cars in. But, have a little cushion there for us so we can move our cars out. When do you think about a timeline that you're going to have that implemented?
So we already have the GPS unit chose, the one we like and the one we want to use. So we're going to install them into the street sweepers and start doing a test drive, just making sure it all works. We haven't yet approached PD, but I hope they're open to, this is something that they can do on their phone or any device. And so they can just log in real quick, see where all the sweepers are at or where it's at the moment. But they're also going to be able to see the path that it's traveled throughout the day. And if they're wondering whether the street sweeper has passed by or not, this is a good system to let them know that it has or it hasn't, and therefore they can enforce.
In the meantime, Chief, because we don't have that yet. In the meantime, I know, again, it's obvious when the street sweeper has gone by. Is there a conversation you can have with our enforcement?
Yes, ma'am. I'll make
We're
that.
working on that immediately as of tomorrow. I'm sure somebody's having street sweeper tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
Please.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. We're all more comments. I just want to, before we end, I just want to reiterate Mayor Pro Tem's comments about the street market. It came out really nice. I know a lot of people were very excited when we had a Grupo Cañaveral, biggest production up to date. So congratulations to Parks and Recs and Public Works and everybody else who put it together. I know a lot of people were very excited to have a big name like that in our city, and they just felt very, I think they just felt very represented to have somebody from, you know, their cultural music come and perform in our city. So that was really nice. With all that, I think we have reached the end of our council meeting. Thank everybody for being here. I will move to adjourn the council meeting. Can I get a second?
Second.
Any objections? If not, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Marie, hi. Good
Marie's
night.
here.
Hi.
You didn't say anything earlier.
I did, but you didn't hear me. When Mr. Luna said, "Does he have one?" I said, "Oh well."